There is no doubt about it. We all want to be happy. Everybody will agree with me before the words are even out of my mouth. So let's see if we can find the best way to achieve it. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday and happy Mother's Day. Blessings on all of our mothers. The words with which I began our lesson today aren't mine. They come from St. Agustin, who is one of the most incredible theologians the world has ever seen, and a doctor of the church. A doctor of the church is someone whose writings are so profound, whose works are so profound that they impact the church beyond the age in which this saint lived. St. Augustine used those words when he began to discuss ethics. For him, Christian morality. Now, when we think of morality, we might think of a bunch of rules, the 10 Commandments, the things we're not supposed to do. But remember last week we talked about being made for God and by God. We're made for happiness. So really, Christian morality is a rule book that presents to us how to achieve happiness. So here's an analogy for the children. You have received from your parents a robot for Christmas. It is so cool. But before you start using it, your parents sit down and say, okay, here are some things so that you will have the most fun with this robot. Don't put it in the bathtub unless there's no water. Don't put it in the middle of the road because somebody will run over it. Put the batteries in. Oil the joints. These are things that you do or don't do so that you can have the best result in playing with your robot and you will have the most fun. That's how we can think about Christian morality. That's what we can think about the way of getting to heaven, the way of achieving happiness. It's partly rules, things that we shouldn't do. It's also things that we should do. Before we get into those rules and we talk about the impact of breaking those rules, this week we're really going to focus on the way of life, the rule book for life, the path to heaven, and how we are going to achieve it. Because St. Augustine is such an important part of our understanding, Christian understanding, we will have in our packet a coloring page and some information about him. We will also have a coloring page and information about our patron, St. Thomas Aquinas. Now, there's a story that you probably know, but I'm going to tell it to you again about St. Thomas Aquinas, an even more brilliant theologian, in my opinion, wonderful, wonderful doctor of the church, incredible saint. And as I said, he's our patron. You know the big stained glass that we have of St. Thomas, and he's got a book open, and he's got a quill pen in hand, and he's gazing up at the cross. Well, this refers to a moment in his life when, witnessed by several Dominican friars, he was in ecstasy, gazing upon the crucified Lord, and a voice came to him from the crucifix, where our Lord said to him, "You have written well of me, Thomas. What reward would you have?" And St. Thomas responded, "Non nisi te Domine." Nothing but you, O Lord. I mean, you think about all the fairy tales where people are given the opportunity to ask for anything you want. He could have asked for a robot. He didn't ask for a robot. He knew that the perfect realization, satisfaction of every desire of his heart is to be found in God himself. That is the only thing, the only one who can satisfy all of our desires. So once again this week we'll be thinking about that longing for God and thinking about every aspect of our life in light of that desire and the desire for happiness that only he can satisfy. Now, some of the questions in our packet this week you might find a little bit unexpected. I certainly did. For instance, which is better, to be rich or to be poor? Which is better, to have a short life or a long life? The answers may not be what you expect, and they, I hope, will bring an opportunity to think very deeply about these things and to think about the things that matter to us and fill us with joy and lead us to that ultimate happiness we all desire. For you parents, as you're looking at this with your children, we are going to be getting into laying the groundwork for a discussion of sin and a discussion of virtue. So hopefully, to assist you in that, I've given you some extra tools so that we can really understand what sin is. We'll really mostly be talking about it in the next few weeks, but why the church talks about sin and why we have the sacraments in response to sin. Really, really, really want to stress that this is all born from God's love for us. God's love for us and his desire for us to realize the happiness we desire. So it's a very blessed week. Everyone say thank you to your mothers. Give your mothers lots of hugs and kisses. Lots of hugs and kisses. And if you haven't built your Marian altar yet, don't forget our Blessed Mother as you thank God for the blessing that is the heart of the mother. God bless you all. Keep the faith.